Good afternoon, everyone. This is Gil with Camppatton Family Compound. With us this evening, we have Tammy of Rebel Canners and Mark of ChefTech. It is time for the Monday Night Fireside Chat, and tonight's topic is canning sauces. And here we are. And let's see. Let me go to the comments here. So first one in tonight was Shady Hill on Tammy's side. And then his evil twin, the Soulful Survivalist, Unbroken, came in on my side. Then Shady Hill popped over and is double dipping on my side as well.
Hey, Uncle Richard showed up.
Comment. We'll get back to comment in just a second. Diana is on Tammy's side and my side. Let's see.
Uncle Richard showed up.
Yeah, I saw Uncle. Where did he go? I know I saw Uncle Richard there.
He was first on Tammy's the upright screen, the mobile.
Oh, that's okay. Strange. Because usually I see him pop up. You know, he does that on the other one, but he's not popping up here.
Yeah, he popped up, and I said yo, and then I went back to ChefTech and said hi from over here.
Yeah, Angel's Homestead is here, and okay, so the question was, and I know the answer, and it's a misunderstanding of the wording. Is there an easy way to keep track of a jar sterilized? Your jar is sterilized only for a microsecond before you get out of the autoclave and bring
Timmy's
it out.
going to correct you. You're not sterilizing anything. You're sanitizing.
No. I know. So it's sanitized. You know, so unless you have an autoclave, that's all it has to be sterilized. And the second you take it out into the air, it's not sanitized anymore.
Well, if you touch it, yeah.
Yeah, as soon as you touch it, it's no longer sterilized. It's just sanitized. And vinegar does nothing to help keep it, you know.
Now, you don't have to sanitize your jar unless you're processing something for less than 10 minutes. So you don't have to sanitize your jar unless you're doing jellies or like we're talking about sauces. Some sauces don't need the full 10 minutes. So you really, they've changed the recommendations. And unless you're processing for less than 10 minutes or less, you don't need to sanitize your jars. Just an FYI.
I'm water bathing. I always boil my jars. I don't care how long it's going for.
I do too. I always throw them in, and yeah. It certainly doesn't hurt.
No.
It's like when I do mine, it's like, all right, I toss all the jars I might need that batch into the dishwasher, crank it up, and let it go, and then I start pulling them out as I need them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Yeah, I don't trust the dishwasher because you get soap residue left on it if you.
There's no soap in there. I just run water. I just run a hot water rinse.
Just yeah.
And so I just put it in the unless because basically I'm going to be running it for an hour for meats in the pressure canner, and that's going to kill just about everything there is anyways. And the water bath, it's like you said, unless you're doing jams and jellies for a short time, you're in there. If you're doing meat in a water bath, you're in there for 3 hours.
Yeah, well, if I'm doing a hot pack for pressure canning, my pressure canner is always open with the water in it. I'll put some extra water in there. I'll let the jars boil if I'm hot packing when I'm ready to go. Pull them out, dump them out, and hot pack. That way I don't shock the jars.
Yeah.
And if I got too much water in the canner, I just pull some out and throw it in a pot and let it boil, but I don't need it at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. And Prepper 101 just came in as well.
I love he always calls me a raccoon.
All right. Just a word of warning for those that haven't seen what's been going on. For the last several days, the internet and StreamYard and Facebook have been having problems.
Yep.
I've watched just a regular video, nothing else going on, and in the regular already recorded video, and it freezes up.
Yeah. And if you
during
if you
my
skip forward a little bit, it starts playing again. It's like I did that before. I'm like, this is weird.
yeah. This morning during my live stream on Gray Man Prepping, it was like 15 times it froze up for 2 minutes. Totally. I mean, it was like, it's like I'm sitting there just waiting. All of a sudden, I got the circles of death going, and Crew 1351 was in there. As soon as they saw it, they were like, "It's happening again!" And sure enough, all of a sudden we'd get the thing, the lost communications with the chat, communications restored, and then it would come back up. So there's something going on between the three of them.
I'm thinking. That's good.
Just for you, Gil. Just for you.
And Prepper one says MySpace 2 this week. A hard time finding anyone on there. Yeah.
MySpace is still around?
Yeah.
I thought that went the way of the dodo.
All right. So with that, I don't have anything special other than a book to show you guys. Let me get that down out of the way. Okay, get that down. It is. This was my mom's.
Ooh.
It's just a thin book. Just a couple.
A couple
Like 240 pages with pictures.
Just a couple inches of recipes and stuff on sauces. So, when it comes to sauces, this one is going to be absolutely, the sauces. I mean, my wife and my mom went through this. We're looking at it we're looking at the different sauces, and they try different things. But yeah, how much was this back in the day?
Probably $12.99, $9.99.
Okay, the barcode doesn't have a price on it at all. So
It has a barcode.
So it's a little
Yeah, nothing on the inside. Sometimes I'll have it in there. So
If it's got a barcode, it's post 1980.
Well, this was 89 is the date on it.
She probably paid like $20 for that thing.
Yeah,
It's a coffee table book, so she probably did.
Yeah. So, anyways, so canning sauces. I know, listening to Tammy and Mark over the last several years talk about this stuff. But Geeky Gardens just came in. Hey, Jack. Some sauces are water bath only.
Tomato.
Some sauces you can do. Some sauces you can do, and some sauces you can't.
Yeah. There's a lot of sauces that are water bath, Mark. There was a lady, and she's since passed away from cancer, in my group, and she put in a whole list of sauces. I think that file is like 8 or 10 pages typed front and back long. When I put it into the recipe files book, and she just did a whole bunch of sauces, and most of them are a 15 to 20 minute water bath. It's like 90% of all sauces I would use are a 15 to 20 minute water bath.
Are they acid based?
They have a lot of vinegar in them.
Oh, vinegar. Okay.
Vinegar. Yeah.
So now, as of course, always, we kind of focus on canning, but there's other ways to store sauces. My wife has a few sauces. When she makes up the sauces and stuff and puts it on whatever and there's left over, out come the ice cube trays.
Yes.
And she fills up ice cube trays, and she does it, and she uses the straw and the Ziploc bag and sucks all the air out as she can, and on the bag and tosses it in the freezer, and that way she knows. All right, I know I got here, and she goes to the one shelf in the upright freezer. All right, sauces. Okay, here we go, and out it comes.
Yeah.
So there's that, a lot of people, I don't say a lot of people. Some people have a problem with freezing sauces. I don't know why.
Some sauces don't freeze well either.
Yeah.
No, they freeze okay. It's when you try to cook it again, they break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna say.
A lot of cream sauces. Yeah.
So
I have perfected my Alfredo sauce, canned Alfredo sauce. If you have not seen the video, it came out last week, and it is so good.
What'd you use for a thickener?
Butter and cheese.
Oh, okay.
It's butter, cheese, and cream. Garlic,
Okay.
nutmeg. There's no thickener.
No thickener. The heavy cream. Use heavy cream.
Yep.
Yeah. That heavy cream thickens by itself when you heat it. So.
Yeah.
see if I can bring something up here. Man, it's just going to. Internet's going slow. Just trying to open other stuff up.
Don't bring up too much. You're going to lock everything up on us again.
No, I'm just bringing up. Oh, there it is, and just to. Come on, videos.
Bandit. Like that's my cat. Sorry, folks.
Is that who's making all the noise back there?
Yeah, he's making all the noise and he's going crazy over there in the window.
All right, so I'm going to share something here for you guys. Tammy's page for it, and this is clicked under videos once I went in there, and so we got to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there it is. Home canning Alfredo sauce. So there it is.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And you can use a lot of jellies as a sauce too. They used to use currant jelly as a sauce, but
looking out here reminded me of something. There are different sauces that you can everyone can. So that's like your pasta sauces with your tomato based stuff. I like that. The one type of sauce, let me go back here. Boom. That I would love to learn how to do, and this I see Uncle Richard's finally showed up here on it. Yeah,
on your you can see him now. He's been there.
Yeah, I know. I saw him over on. I saw him.
It was on Tammy's mobile channel because you guys are each running 2 channels at once.
I'm running 3. We're streaming to Facebook too.
Yeah.
Okay. He's not on Facebook, I'll tell you that.
So there, one sauce
you always wanted to make.
I still want to learn how to make, and the recipe is proprietary and copyrighted and hard, so I'm gonna have to make my own copycat version. Is Tabasco's chipotle sauce?
Oh,
another direction in sauces here, folks. I'm talking hot sauces.
Chipotle is just a fancy way of saying jalapeno pepper.
Smoked jalapeno,
but it's not a jalapeno. It's its own pepper because you can grow peppers.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, but yeah, that's because I go through I get the big bottles of the chipotle, and I'll go through 3 or 4 of those a year because my grandson loves it on his quesadillas.
Well, there you go.
Have you tried my hot sauce recipe?
No, I haven't. I want to first grow several varieties of peppers that I like, and whatever is used for the that Tabasco uses,
So here's the thing about the Tabasco brand. They are fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. They age their sauce for 20 years in oak barrels.
Yeah. I can't do that.
You're probably not going to be able to recreate it the way they ferment it for that long.
Yeah.
But the recipe I have, you could take that recipe and tweak it and you probably come close.
Yeah.
It just won't have the aged. It won't be fermented and aged. So,
one
you know,
the thing is with Eli, since he's on the spectrum, he has a narrow
yeah,
that he eats. And if I can take something that he won't eat, put Tabasco sauce on it. He sees me putting Tabasco sauce on it, he'll taste it.
yeah.
That's good.
Because he likes Tabasco sauce.
Yeah.
And and so that's why I can get him to try some things. But like quesadillas, just plain cheese in there, a couple shots of Tabasco all over it here, cook it up. It's gone. Boom. And he'll go more.
Yeah, you can't buy Tabasco pepper seeds. It's like a trademark seed. Tabasco specifically only has seeds. Certain growers grow it for them only.
Yeah.
And they are bound by legal things. You will not take the seeds. You will not do anything. And any of the seeds that they grow, they must get each year from Tabasco, from the company. They can't grow their own because they test all these peppers when they get them in from different parts of different regions. Every one gets tested.
Yeah.
And if it's not close, then it means you did something or got cross-pollinated or it was a seed that came up from the previous year that you shouldn't have. And it tastes different because it cross-pollinates with the wrong things. So that's its own legal science behind Tabasco sauce and their peppers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My hot pepper sauce, though, is very, very close because Sawyer has had me tweak it. So you can take that and it would probably be very, very close.
Yeah.
And you can make a red version or a green version. So whichever he prefers.
Yeah. Thing is, Eli got part of. I think it was genetic for his liking it because we had a problem with our kids sucking their thumbs. And hey, all right, Tabasco sauce on your thumb. Megan was so pig-headed and stubborn, more so than anyone else in the family for generations to know about. You put it on there, she would look at it like, and you see her just shaking there because the heat, and she's just sucking it off. So Eli, now she likes the hot peppers and stuff, but so I think it's he inherited some of her genetics on just for the tolerance of it, and it's something that he likes. But yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh man, cool.
Yeah, I think that's the pepper variety, but a lot of it has to do with the soil conditions too.
Yeah.
And again, they pulverize it, they put it in oak barrels, and they let it ferment for 20 years before they take it out and make their sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fermented in vinegar for that long. So, I mean,
Tip Top Farm came in on your side.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah. So yeah, there's but when you first say sauces, everyone's thinking about sauce, all the fancy sauces going on stuff. But there are a lot of down to earth common sauces that people can and do that are tomato based and other bases and stuff.
Yeah. You can make your own Worcestershire sauce. Don't laugh at me, Mark. I can't. Nobody can pronounce it right.
Hold on, I got to
mute. You can make your own. I mean, there are so many. Like any sauce, sweet and sour sauce you can make and can. And just about any sauce that you use, you can make and can. Just about.
Yeah, Gil brought up jellies earlier for making with sauces. Yeah, you can make a raspberry vinaigrette or a raspberry strawberry vinaigrette or whatever kind of flavor vinaigrette you want. A little bit of jelly, mix it with some vinegar, and then add your stuff to it, and you have a raspberry vinaigrette with the jelly you made the previous year or 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, they used to take currant jelly and pour it on meat and use it as a roast. Now we use cowboy candy, but currant jelly used to be the most, if you read all the old cookbooks, Every single one has a recipe for roast meat with currant jelly on top as the sauce.
Yeah.
Red currants, which aren't my favorite.
Reapers,
Oh, yeah.
ghost, onion, red sweet peppers, and tomatoes. Sure.
Yep.
All yours. I won't touch it. A little too hot for me.
I
mean,
I
I mean,
also-
here's the second part. Here's the second part of that.
Oops.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
I made cowboy candy out of habaneros, reapers, and whatever else Scotch bonnets a friend of mine got for me. It was for him. He wanted cowboy candy out of it because he liked my cowboy candy, but he's like, it tastes like sugar. I was like, okay, get me hot peppers. I did it. Oh, I should have worn a mask after I cut the peppers up wearing, gloves and everything else. Man, I was beyond careful with that because I don't want to touch anything. And got my sugar vinegar mixture boiling. I threw the peppers in. I'm like, oh, what does it smell like? It took about 10 minutes to stop coughing. I literally had to hold my breath every time I took a scoop out and turned the fans on to blow it away from me just to put it in the jars. And I canned it up and I brought it over to his house. I was like, here's your candy. I said, you give me the peppers in the jars. I said, I'll just make it for you. And so he did. I brought it over. He cracked the jar open and I put him in a half-pint jars. He ate half the jar and didn't even flinch. I mean, he has no taste buds, period.
Yeah. That's what I did when I made my first salsa is somebody brought me 40 pounds of various peppers, like A to Z. And I chopped those all up and made them into salsa with tomatoes. And it took me a while to figure out the blend of how hot I wanted it. There were some salsas that I was too hot that I could eat.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can make salsa sauce and you can water bath it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But now one of the things I wanted to ask about, get both your guys' opinion on it, is broth sauces. Most people probably think about beef, beef ones and stuff because hey, yeah, that kind of looks like like gravies, but they're calling them sauces and stuff.
Yeah. I say broth sauce is gravy or au jus.
It is. I mean, if you saute your onions, you add your red wine to it, cook it down, and then add your chicken broth, beef broth, whatever. Sure, you can can that with all your seasonings, no sage, all your seasonings and herbs and whatever you want in there, and make it taste the way you want. It's just not thick, unless you want to use the clear gel to thicken it ahead of time. But you can do that. Or you have the jar, you just throw it in a pot, heat it up, and add a little bit of roux to it. And now you have your sauce for your chicken, beef, whatever you're making, beef medallions, pork medallions. Yeah. I mean, you can make flavored broth, and that's your sauce base. It's not a sauce per se. You can make a demi-glaze. I guess you could can a demi-glaze, which is a 90% reduction of beef stock. Put a gallon in, you reduce it down to about a pint or less, and it thickens naturally because there's so much proteins and stuff left in there, all the water boiled off. You could probably can that. I never thought about it because I don't have the time to boil something that long just to make a demi-glaze. I did in school. I have no need for it today.
And they also do the balsamic vinegar glazes where they boil it down with the meat broth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been working on doing a lot more recipes myself that are less sugar. Really trying to get away from sugar here.
Well, if you're looking for a thick sauce for your meats, for your carnivore diet, take the broth, chicken, beef, whatever that you made, and let it simmer down forever. And take it down from, a quart down to quarter cup. And it'll naturally thicken, just don't burn it. And you'll have a thick sauce naturally, no flour, no starches, nothing. That's why they call it a demi-glaze. It's true beef broth or pork or chicken or whatever, turkey, just simmered down until 90% of the water is gone, and it's just left with the thickness of the goodness, if that's actually a thing. And you could probably
It is now.
It is now. The thickness of the goodness. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, you could do that. You could probably can that. I mean, it's just beef broth or chicken broth or turkey broth. You can can it, but that's a long process for that.
Yeah. Ketchup is a sauce.
Yeah. The original ketchup was a hot sauce from China.
But there's several ketchups. Like there's a mushroom ketchup. There's a walnut ketchup. Ketchup is not necessarily a tomato sauce. Only in America is ketchup a tomato sauce.
Yeah. So the just thinking here of all because on my other channel, Gray Man Prepping, today's was making or this morning's was making a meal plan.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was trying to get across to new preppers and stuff is, you want to make sure you have a variety of things in your meal plan so you don't get food fatigue. And sauces are one of the things that help clear food fatigue right out the door.
You mean you can't only eat beans and rice?
Well, I know this real fat guy that can't hardly bend over, and he actually tried mushrooms. He turned purple and
they're all edible ones. So if you want to be real scientifically technical, if I took a gallon of beef broth and freeze dried it to a powder and only added a cup of water to it, I would have homemade demi-glaze without the boiling process. Because I took 90, I can just I take 100% of the water out and only put 10% back. It would be a nice, thick, very flat. I got now I got to go freeze dry a couple quarts of my bone broth and see what happens. All right, Richard, you're on. We'll deal with that when we get to the cabin.
Do a whole run of it and then bring me a jar of it because I need some beef bouillon.
A whole run. Here's 3 gallons of liquid meat, whatever, that is now the equivalent of 8 tablespoons. Yeah, that'll take about 60 hours times the electric. Okay. Right away. It's on its way, Tammy. I'll bring you more apples, strawberries, and something else.
Thank you. Oh, my grandson loved the strawberries. I had to share with him.
Yeah, well, grandsons are special that way.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, Richard's like, yeah, thumbs up. Bring it.
Oh, he steals half of my food anyway.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So anyone wondering was wondering what we're going to be talking about? Hey, sauces it's not just a little narrow thing. It's huge. And
okay, ask me the question you always ask. What sauce can't you can? I got the answer tonight. I thought of one.
Okay, what sauce can't you can?
What sauce can't you can?
Hollandaise sauce.
Yeah, well, that's because it's mayonnaise, basically.
Yeah, it's milk and eggs.
Milk? What planet are you from?
I don't always have cream, okay?
So I'm just looking at. Okay, yeah, all right. I'm just looking. You can't even can all the. I mean, you can you can't. It's not really good. You do the eggs. Someone said they freeze dried egg. I made mayonnaise from freeze dried eggs.
Wasn't me.
And it wasn't you. It was on a reel, and they talked about it, and they were saying you got to separate stuff and do stuff. And it's like
because too much work. Freeze-dried raw eggs, you can't freeze dry the yolks by themselves. They have to be mixed with the with the proteins in order for it to freeze dry, because the yolk is like all fat. You can't freeze dry fat, and adding water back to something that's fat doesn't turn it back to a yolk. So I would make egg drop soup out of my raw freeze-dried eggs, just rehydrate some and drizzle it down in chicken broth and maybe add a little yellow food coloring to make it look. And yeah, you can do that, but no, you're not making. No, that's yeah, it's a real dude.
I was because she never showed the process.
Of course not.
No.
But I bet she got 10,000 views and about 9,000 negative comments from the freeze dryer world. Wow, that's a good freeze there, buddy.
That's a terrible face skill.
That's a bad. I got to screenshot that one.
Well, they have really frozen this time.
I think he's about to go spinny wheels of death, and it'll be you and me.
Spinny wheels of death. It's I'm thinking.
Oh, he's thinking. All right, that's painful thought.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes.
There goes the wheel of death. Anyway, that's annoying.
I think the mayonnaise or whatever ruined them.
Have you successfully made your own mayonnaise? I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
I've done it. It's a pain in the ass.
Do you cook your eggs first, or do you use raw?
No. It's a raw egg. No, hollandaise sauce. You heat it. No, it's a raw egg and your favorite oil, a little bit of lemon juice, and some water, good water, and it's the flavor of the water that'll kill it, and the flavor of the oil, whatever kind of oil you use. You're not going to make it taste like Hellman's or Kraft or whatever. But
I just want it to look like mayonnaise and not look like.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. I've never.
It's an emotion.
I need to work on that. That is one of my projects.
If you're doing it by hand with a whisk and you got to use a stainless or a glass bowl. Stainless is preferred. Stainless whisk, not the plastic whisk.
Immersion blender.
Yeah, but it gets so thick and gloppy. It's not the. It's
I
not
never
the best.
got it thick. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Then you're not whipping it fast enough, and you added too much oil and it broke.
I think I probably added too much oil too fast.
Yeah, you got to add it really slow because as you whip it and you're incorporating some air, which the molecules will then surround the fat with the protein from the egg of the egg yolk. And it's just the yolk, not the whole. You can try a whole egg, doesn't work as well. Oh, he's back.
There we are.
What was weird is the wheel of I got the wheel of death. Well, actually, Tammy got the wheel of death. A half second later, I got it. Mark never got the wheel of death here on StreamYard.
Yeah, you froze, but you froze for a long time.
Yeah, your face was frozen with that funny
and you're
face.
frozen.
Yeah. So,
but mayonnaise is its own beast.
Yeah.
You're not going to make a quart of mayonnaise. We had to make it in school, and I made it at a couple places I worked. You do that to make your base for your remoulade and all your other sauces and stuff, which is fine if you got that kind of time on your hands.
Yeah,
but it's fun to make once.
It's not a sauce I'm going to be canning.
You can't can it. It's oil and eggs. It doesn't.
I'm just saying it's not a sauce you can can.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, any of the egg-based, any type of an emulsion sauce, you're not canning it. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you buy that was in a jar, like hollandaise sauce in a jar. Yeah, read the ingredients. There should be 4 to 6 ingredients in a hollandaise sauce, and none of them have chemical names.
Yeah. I don't know how they would do that. That would be a no.
Yeah, so it's basically imitation holiday sauce that you buy at the store.
Even the Alfredo sauce you buy in a jar is just, it may taste good. Read the ingredients.
Yeah.
Well, the one I make now that I can myself is way better than the ones I buy at the store. So I don't buy it anymore because it is so easy to make fresh. Or I've got 14 cans on the shelf. So
cans or jars?
Jars.
We can in jars and we jar in cans. We park on driveways and drive on parkways. We cut trees up. We cut trees down so we can cut them up. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Speaking of firewood, you better get some firewood for next year, girl.
I'm working on it. Picking up sticks and twigs wherever I go.
Yeah, right now it's tough to find them in 4 feet of snow and 2 degrees outside.
Yeah. I actually have someone that asked me if I wanted to cut some wood that's down. So I'll be working on that when it gets a little nicer and I get a little electric saw.
Yeah, for the right price, Uncle Richard and I will throw the log splitter on the back of the Ranger, and we'll come up there for a week. You just have the logs ready to go. We'll bring the chainsaws and that. You just need to cook.
Okay. All right.
We're always looking for something random to do that doesn't matter. Well, it matters to you. Doesn't matter to us.
Would matter to me. That would be
Yes.
great.
Tip Top does not like homemade mayonnaise. Well, you're making it right. It's because people grew up on Miracle Whip and Hellman's. That's why. And Miracle Whip is not mayonnaise.
with Hellman / Best Foods, in the, I'm going to say early 70s, they changed the formula and started removing the olive oil and adding the soybean oil to it.
Yep.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't eat it anymore because of the soybeans in it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm trying to perfect my own.
I use, what do I use? Either Duke's or Mike's. I think we mostly use Duke's mayonnaise. And my wife picked up a jar of Hellman's. And we ran out of Duke's. I was like, all right, I'll do the Hellman's. It's all air. It's air. I took it out with this. I'm like, you could hear it crackling. I'm like, oh my God, they pulverized with air to fill the jar up. And I looked at the weights on the bottles. The Duke's was like 14 ounces. The Hellman's was like 11.2.
Same size.
But it filled up the same jar or container, plastic, whatever. And it was all air. I'm like, wow, you guys just really, you're going out of your way now. Oh.
And there's that whole north versus south. In the north, they do Hellman's. In the south, it's only Duke's. So
right, and I'm right in the middle. So I get Duke's, Mike's. Mike's is pretty good. I don't know if you had Mike's amazing mayonnaise, whatever.
I've never had Mike's, but I've really preferred Duke's. But all I can find around here is Hellman's.
Yeah, and we can get both. We can get Duke's, Hellman's, Kraft, you name it, Best Buy, whatever. Not Best Buy, but yeah.
I don't eat Kraft unless it's the only thing that on the shelf and I'm desperate.
Yeah. Where did I was gonna say where did Gil go?
I went to get something out of the kitchen here, and I've got to change my setting here for me to show this. Green screen. Okay, so actually, let me come back here for a second. And I'm gonna make myself big. Don't get scared, folks. I'm just making myself big to show you this. All right, avocado oil. Yeah. Primate mayo.
What's the ingredients?
I'll read it. It's not coming focused, but I'll read it off to you. Ingredients: avocado oil, organic vinegar, organic eggs, organic egg yolks, salt, rosemary extract, mustard seed extract. That's it.
Yeah.
Ooh, you can read all of those chemicals.
Yeah.
No chemicals. All those ingredients because there's no chemicals in it.
And make me back to, there we go, back to this. Yeah, I mean, and do you you can see what the green screen does, that green label.
Yeah.
The one who turned me on to this.
You have a green screen of a green screen. That was cool.
Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo.
It looks like there's holes in your mayonnaise jar.
Yeah.
Dr. Paula was the one that turned me on to this. And so, it's because she goes, that's the ingredients. We're none of this other crap and stuff.
Very clean eating. Yeah.
There's another one too. Oh, what's neat about this is the jar.
Glass.
This glass is thicker than the bouncing jar. Yeah. The ball jars. It's thicker than the ball jars. It weighs more than the ball jars do.
I bet you it has the same lid.
Yes, same threads. It has. I used one of these to can in, and it worked perfect.
Nice. Now
That's the other reason why I get this. That gets this one. Oh, and what's neat is this is now at Costco.
How much is that
okay.
a jar? It's got to be like $8 each.
I thought it was. I'm trying to remember. I think it was like $6.89 or something like that a jar.
Yeah.
But you can also order it when they have it in stock online. You can also order it off of Amazon. Same prices at Costco. Yeah, I grew up on Best Foods, which is what it's called out west, and same company as Hellman's. It's the exact same company, same manufacturing plant. They slap different labels on it because of marketing laws for different states. But it's like I grew up on it when it didn't have soybean oil in it.
Right. Yeah. Diana too doesn't like Primal Kitchen. It's awful with avocado oil.
Yeah, it's it tastes a bit different, but it works. The grandkids all they like it better than the Best Foods my daughter gets over there for doing the sandwiches.
Yeah, I'm sure if you mix it with make pasta salad and add all kinds of herbs and spices to it, it has its own flavor then.
Yeah. But I use it for mixing with the canned tuna, canned chicken, canned roast beef, and it's fine. But it has a little bit different taste. But hey, it's 4,000% healthier than any mayonnaise that has soybean oil in it.
Yeah. You mix it. You make roast beef salad with mayonnaise.
I'll take the canned meat and I'll break it up, put a couple scoops of that in, put a small spoonful of relish in it,
right, and
sometimes a little squirt of mustard in there sometimes, and that's how my mom used to make chicken salad sandwiches. Was doing it that way.
I made when we were camping. It was me, the wife, my 3 kids, and my niece, and we had roast pork on the grill. But I cooked the big one because Daddy cooks a lot of food, and we had it left over. And the next day, my wife's like, "What are we gonna do with it?" I was like, "I got this." So I just chopped it up real fine and made pork salad, like chicken salad out of it, and we had on sandwiches. The kids were like, "This is so good," because it was just mashed up, diced up, finely diced pork loin. And my niece still talks about it. She's like, "I love that, Uncle Mark. You got to give me the recipe." I'm like, "There was no recipe, sweetie. It was whatever was left over." And I grabbed mayonnaise and onions and celery and threw it all together and said, "Yep, that works. Salt and pepper. Have a nice day." We had that for lunch at the water park.
Hang on here. Let me check. So I'm checking something here for you guys on here. All right, come on. Okay, currently, the Primal Kitchen mayonnaise is not available in the 32 ounce, only in the little 16 ounce, and it's ridiculously expensive for that. The other one I get is ridiculously expensive for the is Chosen Foods classic mayonnaise made with 100% pure avocado oil. It tastes a little bit better than the Primal, but it also costs a little bit more than the Primal does, and it's also the same. Hang on, let me see.
Same ingredients,
almost the exact same. In fact, all the exact same ingredients, just that there's more mustard seed in it than there is rosemary extract. So that's the only difference between the Primal and the Chosen Foods, all organic, stuff.
You got 2 people that don't like Primal.
I see it. Yeah, it's like I said, it tastes different. Because whatever that Hellman's slash Best Foods puts in theirs with that with the come on brain.
What? Olive oil?
No, the soybean oil.
Yep.
It's I think I'm not sure if they add sugar to it as well and some other crap that's supposed to make it that makes it taste better, more addicting. But yeah, but for mixing it, making like tuna fish salad, chicken salad, roast beef salad out of the for using a mayonnaise for that, it's great. It loses some of its avocado tang. And I'm one who never liked avocado, but I do it because it's healthier. And the more I do it, the more I get used to it.
Well, you'd like freeze-dried avocados. Yeah.
Maybe, but
oh, you would.
Yeah. Don't hate me for this. I don't like guacamole either.
Yeah, well, I never really liked it until a friend of mine at one of my restaurants was like, he's like, I came late one night to fix something. And I was like, "You're gonna feed me?" He's like, "I'll feed you." He's like, "Just sit down." He sat down. He's like, "What do you want?" I was like, "Surprise me." Oh, he brought me out all kinds of stuff, and it was like a Mexican tapas type restaurant and a Spanish tapas. And he brought out some guacamole, and I don't want to put it. I don't refuse anything that was just given to me. So I ate. I was like, that was good. And I told him later, I was like, "Not for nothing, dude." I said, "I never liked guacamole." I said, "That was good." What was in it? He's like, really? Probably the same way you'd make it because you went to culinary school. He's like, I don't know why you don't eat it. I'm like, I don't know. Green slime just never appealed to me.
Oh, guacamole is so good. Growing up, we didn't have avocados. They don't grow in Michigan, so we didn't have them. And I went to Bermuda to visit my cousin, and we went out to dinner to somebody's house while we were there. And they served guacamole. I had never had it in my entire life. I could have ate the whole container. And I didn't know I liked avocados. And that's how I learned that I liked avocados, was trying guacamole. And I've tried to recreate that guacamole, and I've never made it quite as good as what it was that first time.
Yeah, it's the fresh avocados, not the ones that have been sitting green in a box for a year and a half, making their way to the States. Yeah.
Yeah, they probably were grown there.
Yeah, my wife, I bought a bunch of avocados. I was like, let's make guacamole. So we did, and she made it the way she liked it. And I tasted it. I'm like, oh, it's okay. I freeze-dried it. So I now have a couple bags of freeze-dried guacamole. She won't touch it because she doesn't want to waste it. She's like, I'm like, you want the guacamole? No, leave it. I'm like, for what? A special occasion? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, yeah, like we're starving to death, and the grid went down. So I guess we're having guacamole when the power's out and the economy's collapsed and everything else. Okay, honey, we'll have guacamole. Can we eat it now?
When it almost expires in 24 and a half years, you can eat it then.
Right.
So like Tammy, when I said, I saw the look on your face when I said I don't like guacamole. However, my wife, my mother, when she was still alive, and my sister loved that I don't like guacamole. When we had a restaurant and it came with the guacamole on the side, they were fighting over my guacamole.
Can I have it? Can I have it? Can I have it? Can I have it?
Yeah. Once I got married, that was the one time my mom didn't like my wife. And I would give it to her first. I go, sorry.
That's right. I go home with her.
I'm getting the foot rubs tonight because I'm giving her my guacamole.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, you can't can guacamole sauce.
No. There is one recipe I found for canning avocados. Basically, you pickle them, which would not be good for guacamole.
No.
Certain
veggies, fruits, things are just uncannable.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could can them.
Yeah, but why
you wouldn't want to eat them when you got done with it. I mean,
Yeah.
Color is part of the presentation, and
guacamole turns brown avocados turn brown when you cook them. So yeah, there is that.
Yeah.
All right.
black guacamole doesn't sound tasty.
Yeah.
No. And I know when I freeze dried avocado slices, after I laid them gently in the tray because they were very ripe, I just took a clean spray bottle, had lemon juice, and a little bit of water in it, spritzed it on it so it wouldn't turn brown or black, and it worked. I pulled them out of the freeze dryer. They were like bright green, like fresh, but they were like styrofoam. And I brought it to my one buddy I get the chicken from at the restaurant. I was like, "You like avocados, right?" He's like, "Oh, yeah." I gave him a big jar of it. That between him, his wife, and like 2 of the employees there, that quart jar was gone in like 2 minutes because they were like so impressed. They're like, "This is so weird. You put it in your mouth, it's like styrofoam, but then your saliva rehydrates it. It's like nice, perfect avocado." I was like, "Yeah, sure. Knock yourself out, guys, because I made it for you, not me, because I'm not an avocado fan."
Yeah.
I went through like a year where I ate avocado on toast every morning for breakfast.
Yeah, why not?
It's
What's
really
the,
good for you.
Yeah, hummus. Like hummus is another one.
You actually lose weight. Even though avocado is high in fat, it's a natural fat, so you actually lose weight.
Right. Like hummus is another one because that's like chickpeas or garbanzo beans. Word avocado is uncannibal. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
but like
some things are just meant to be eaten fresh in season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like hummus is garbanzo beans or chickpeas, whatever you want to call them, and shelled and then mashed up. Well, I have the better method. I freeze dry canned organic chickpeas, and they come out, and I put them in a bag, or I can put them in the blender or the food processor and turn it to a powder. So it is the most non-grainy hummus you have ever had. Then you sprinkle.
I hope it survived there, Jack.
I hope your tree lives.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like hummus, but I can't stand tahini. So if you put tahini in it, I won't eat it.
Okay. So no sesame oil for you.
No, I think I better not have it. I think it's there must be something with it with the iodine, because it was fine until I got allergic to iodine, and now I can't eat tahini.
Okay.
It doesn't taste right to me. It tastes really bitter, and it.
Yeah.
So I'll take some of the freeze dried garbanzo beans, and I'll sprinkle in a little bit of freeze dried lemon balm and whip that into a powder. Then rehydrate it with a little water, maybe a touch of vinegar or something to give it a little tang. Sesame seeds.
No sesame seeds.
No sesame seeds either? Okay, well, I'll just give you the ingredients. You do what you want, woman.
So my dad was a meat and potatoes kind of guy. But when I was pregnant with my second baby, I had a cookbook, and it had a recipe to make garbanzo beans spread. And it's basically hummus minus the tahini, and you cook onions and garlic, and you kind of mash it all up, and you put that in your garbanzo beans. And then if it's too thick, you add the liquid back from the jar of garbanzo beans to make it into a paste, and you serve it on toast. And my dad could not get enough of that. He absolutely loved it, and he was not a person that would eat something that wasn't steak and potatoes for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And that is really good. So you don't even have to, make a tahini sesame sauce garbanzo thing. You could do an onion and garlic garbanzo spread, and that is really good. Really good.
All right. Coming up here, I forgot to say. Okay, so I'm gonna have to, I'll go through it and I'll correct what I'm going to say here. So tomorrow night on Gray Man Prepping, the topic is creating a prepper group. Thursday night and that's at 8 Eastern. Thursday night at 10 Eastern is on Gray Man Prepping is the Midnight Ride. Friday back here, where topic is starting seeds. That's at 8 o'clock Eastern. Saturday evening for Survival Saturday, after the banks are taken over, what are your plans? Monday, I just put in as a joke and I forgot to replace it because I see typing in on the schedule there. I typed in daylight savings fraud begins. So I'll come up with something to.
Here comes the circle of death. Is it me or is it everybody else?
It's him. I muted for a second so I could leave the room.
All right.
And it's a better look than the previous one.
Much better. Much better.
So basically, the next week, Gil has lots of streams at all the regular times and all the regular topics.
Yes.
So
on all
in.
the regular channels.
That's right. If it's not on one, check the other one.
If you have a chance while he's editing his book, I've been just listening. I've been lurking and listening. I make a comment saying I'm lurking, and I'm usually driving at that time of day for work, and I just play it in the background while I'm going about my business at work. And it's a really good listen. So if you're busy but you want to just listen, it's a really good listen.
And he's still doing the circle of the drain.
Yes.
So when's the food summit this year? Did they give a date yet?
Yeah, I haven't been invited yet. I'm waiting for my invitation.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
But I'm thinking I'm going to do the Alfredo sauce instead of canning milk.
That works.
Yes.
So I jumped way ahead on my schedule. And I pulled something from way in the future, brought it up for next Monday.
Oh, perfect.
Recanning bulk foods.
Okay, that works.
So that's what we talk about next week. And I know the one that's coming up. the nacho cheese stuff. But yeah, so I can't tell you how anti daylight savings time I am.
Yeah.
I've done too much economic what's the word I'm looking for? Deficit caused by daylight savings times both ways.
Yeah.
I mean,
what is the old Indian proverb? Daylight savings time is where you cut 2 inches off the blanket on the bottom and sew it to the top and think you have a longer blanket.
Yeah. But all right, so so that's what's coming up here for next Monday is recanning bulk foods.
Sounds good.
Because there have been a lot in the last couple weeks on your Facebook page, Tammy. People talking about, is it okay to do this one? They've done the nacho cheese, they've done bulk chili, they've done several other bulk foods, and everybody goes, no problem. Yes, you can do it.
Yeah. No, it's I just bought a number 10 can of peas. Can I recan them? Sure. They're going to taste like crap because they've already been cooked for an hour and a half. Now you're going to cook them for another hour and a half in a jar, all to have canned peas. Yeah, sure. Go for it.
The one I saw this week was, can I recan this number can? Should I go ahead and redo it right now? This number can 10 of peaches. I'm like, well, you might want to wait till you have to use some of them first.
Yeah.
Because you're going to wind up with peach sauce when you're done the second time.
Or turn it into peach jam.
Yeah. Yeah. If you think you're going to get beautiful sliced peaches, you're
no.
Yeah.
No.
But the other one that they talked about, someone that bought had a big can of the diced tomatoes.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to make smaller ones, and everyone said, you might as well go ahead and start making the stuff you want to make with it. Make your.
Why don't you make a sauce out of it and then recan that? That's what I do. That was all the sauces I used to can were it's my recipe of number 10 cans of whole plum and diced and puree and onions and that. Oh yeah, I would make like 8 gallons of sauce the way I like it. And then I'd can it, I'd rejar it and can it back up again. Now, was the tomatoes already like a year old or so? Sure. But did I eat it?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I
that's the
got
thing
a
too.
big thing of tomatoes to make ketchup, and then I found the number 10 cans of Heinz ketchup very, 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 very cheap, like a couple dollars for a number 10 can. And so
Right.
now I have 5 number 10 cans of ketchup, so I don't want to make ketchup, even though I wanted to do a ketchup video. Sorry, Uncle Al. Oh, he asked for a ketchup video, and now I'm like, I have so much ketchup, I can't make ketchup, so I've got to wait till I've used it up.
Yeah.
So do a recanning ketchup video.
That's not what he wanted.
Yeah. All right, folks. So if you have any suggestions for us here tonight on Monday nights for the canning and stuff, where to go? There it goes. There it is. Send it to me in an email or to Tammy at rebelcanners@gmail.com, and give us suggestions for canning and food preservation topics you want to see us address. Because that we'd love to hear what you guys want to hear about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
hey, Tammy,
of course,
whoever you talk to for the food summit, sorry, Richard just posted food summit Alfredo. Yum.
Yeah.
Whoever you talk to that's in charge of it, say, are you ever going to get Harvest Right to show up? That would be cool.
I think they're competitors, dude.
Who is? Harvest
All
Right for
American.
freeze dryers?
Oh, the freeze dryer company. Yeah, that would be great to have.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be tough if it's humid outside. That's the big pushback on that. But
well, and also they're kind of limited on their electric there. They did give one away last year.
They did. They gave away a
Yeah,
Harvest
there was
Right.
a raffle for one.
Oh wait, I think I did pay for that.
Yeah.
I didn't win it, so whatever. I didn't need it, but I didn't win it. I would have taken it.
I didn't
Richard
win it
would've used
either.
Yeah, you're not going to run a Harvest Right on a 500-watt jack. Right? Sorry.
No, it's not going to happen. So they'd have to have a little different electrical setup or put it somewhere else. That'd be hard.
Or they just have to have a bunch of stuff already freeze dried and so this is just sort of like a that. Not,
yeah, that's all they could do is have the demo machine there with all the trays and stuff, and have a whole lot of freeze dried little mini packets to hand out and let people try and talks about it and how it works. And
was it Berlin Seeds that gave one away?
Might have been. That sounds familiar.
I think it was Berlin Seeds that gave one away.
Yeah, that was in the same tent, right, with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think they were. Yeah.
They were in the next one over at the back, which is where that freeze dryer was, I think. I don't know.
No, maybe they'll be back this year. I'll be hanging out back there the whole time then.
Berlin Seeds is one of our sponsors, so they should be back. They've been there every year. And they're right there in Berlin, Ohio. And if you haven't bought plants from them, their plants are fabulous.
Cool. All right, folks, we've gone over. Let's see. Cold War Prepper just went live. So we're going to wrap it up here. And hopefully we'll see you guys around on one of the live streams. And maybe one of these days, Tammy will be going live at other times.
Right now, no.
With 4 part-time jobs, it's a little hard.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you around.
All right, good night.